Good afternoon and welcome to the IFS UK and Ireland User Group Summer Conference. I think we might have to call it an Indian summer conference, but it was going so well that we didn't want to stop. So thank you all for supporting our events. I hope you've all had a good summer and managed to take a break. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Miller and I'm the manager of the User Group. The User Group is run by a committee of volunteers who all work for IFS customers. We also have a couple of committee members who work for IFS and who assist us with liaison between our members and the company. The User Group is independent of IFS, which allows us the freedom to react to requests from our members. As members, we need you to stay in touch with us and to let us know if you have any concerns or requests that you'd like us to follow up on your behalf. The presentation today has been supplied by DinERP, who are joining us from Norway. And the title is Enhanced Financial Workflows Using DinERP's Purchase to Pay Solutions. During this event, Roger Ugdahl will demonstrate how Technos achieves rapid digital transformation of their supplier invoice workflow from posting to approval using DinERP's web and mobile products, enabling light users of IFS to manage their tasks with increased speed and accuracy without the need for expensive training programs. If you'd like to ask any questions during the presentation, please do so using the Q&A option. Please add your name to any questions so that we know who's asking. I'll put all questions through to our presenters at the end of the presentation. If we don't manage to get through all the questions, we'll ask them to be answered after the event. The event today will be recorded and the recording will be available to all members on our website next week. Today, we're very pleased to have on the webinar Roger Ugdahl, who has been with DinERP for over 8 years, during which time he has held positions in international sales, pre-sales and business consultancy. With a background in finance and information technology, holding positions such as finance manager at retailer Smart Club, controller at Eldon, now Envent Hoffman, and consultant at SPIS, IT Competence. Roger holds a depth of knowledge on financial systems that many can only aspire to. At DinERP, Roger has worked with key accounts including Churchill China, Bertel, Ugstein, automotive vehicle distribution and retail, and most recently with Technos. A familiar face around the UK user group events, Roger is also one of the most helpful individuals in the wonderful world of IFS. Paul Diora is one of the newest employees at DinERP and is responsible for your sales in the UK, Ireland and Finland. Paul is a seasoned veteran of the IT and software industries, having held positions at Microsoft, Oracle, Thomson Reuters, Gartner and most recently Apsys. Paul has the unenviable task of starting his new role at DinERP during lockdown and is very keen to meet some of the IFS customers to understand the real world challenges they face and the ways they use their ERP system on a day-to-day basis. So that leaves me to hand you over to the DinERP team. There we are.
Thank you very much, Amanda, for your introduction. Most grateful for that. And as you said, we're joining in from Norway.
From sunny Oslo.
Sunny Oslo, most of the time though. We're today going to talk about our financial solutions, mostly a part of the purchase to pay solution, which is a whole suite of solutions from DinERP. What Technos says, a Finnish industrial coating company, they said this made a huge impact through small changes. And we're going to go through some of the details from that business case with you today. But first of all, I want to let you know a bit about DinERP as a company. The company was founded in 2008 and has been a global partner of IFS since then. On your screen now you will see a lot of companies, which they are all customers of DinERP. Most of them, of course, Norwegians, because we're a Norwegian company, but most of them are international companies. And you will also see some familiar logos from the UK at least. You will see Churchill China and you will see ALE. Both of them customers in the UK. The latest customer that is up in the left corner is Babcock, which is an Australian part of the Babcock solution. And we've never met them. We've had Teams meetings with them, and they're now in operation with the solution from DinERP. And you can also see some customers in Germany, Aerodienst, which is a company that does maintenance on private jets, and also Mercedes-Benz Consulting, which is the consulting company of Daimler Chrysler, which is running IFS. So there's a broad span of companies, branches, and size of companies, and all of them has got good experiences by using solutions from DinERP. Based on that, I want to move you over to the focus areas of DinERP. One of the areas that we're talking about today is procurement or purchase to pay, where we have solutions from order until invoice. In the middle, you've got approvals, you can receive goods and stuff like that, both on mobile and on web. We're going to focus on invoice today, which we're going to crack on when I'm finished with the introduction. We also do a lot within operational HR, from time registration, time approval, travel registration, travel approvals. We do vacation connected to the absence part of IFS and the approvals. So, and also in web and mobile. We also do then have the maintenance part of the IFS, where we do work order apps with report in, we capture hours, we can count, we can issue parts, we can do everything that you can do on tasks on a work order. And everything then is tied together with our business-to-business solution, where we have customer portal, supplier portal, and partner portals, where we engage external users at your customers, your partners, or suppliers. And then we have solutions that covers the employees, the managers, and the externals. So this is the basis of DinERP solutions. From the very start, we have focused on the light users. And then we define the light users like people using fragments of IFS. An engineer doing the maintenance of an aircraft, he is not a light user in the way he's an engineer, but he doesn't want to use his whole time using the ERP system. So, well, we have made solutions for them. If you go into heavy users within the financial departments, they all know all the shortcuts. They all know all the right mouse click choices that you've got within IFS, and that is the difference between the users. So we focus on light users in a broad manner, which is then, and they will then want to have good solutions that they can be efficient on doing and using. The tagline of the DinERP logo is driving digital transformation. And by that, we want to empower your employees. We want to engage your customers. We want to optimize your operations. And in a broad manner, we want then to help you transform your product. Not your physical product, but the total that your customer would look to. So that is the basis of driving the digital transformation by using solutions from DinERP. To summarize what DinERP is all about, I want to use a couple of minutes on this screen. On this screen, you will see that DinERP is a completely standalone product. These are the 8 pillars that DinERP solution is relying on. And I want to focus on first is the upper left corner and the lower right corner. Security and authentication is crucial when you're connecting to mobile and external users. The solutions of DinERP is preset with all the known security solutions and configure in the way the company has got, the customer has their the way of setting it up. And then the external and the mobile users can be authenticated by Facebook, Google, Azure, Microsoft, whatever solution you want. Then I want to move to mobile apps and responsive design. For the most of the products, we want to use the responsive design because then the screen decides what is available of functionality on your screen. The size will then decide it. But for some areas, we develop specific mobile apps. At the moment, we're focusing on specific mobile apps for time registration and travel and expense. But they're using the same configuration. It's only the design that is different. We also move into robotification and artificial intelligence. One of the areas that we're also looking for to enhance at least invoice handling for some companies. I'm going to show you what we're doing with that later on. And through search, as you all know, a search within a database and as well in the ERP database, a database search is quite time consuming. So what we're doing then, we're introducing true search, where you will be able to search while you type, both in external databases and also we do index the IFS, the ERP database. Then I'll move to the custom workflows. As you know, there are some fixed workflows within the ERP system, and in this question, IFS. We then will be able to add steps in the workflow and take away steps in the workflow, and then merge it with the business logic of IFS. For one customer, we have added a step in the travel and expense solution, where they say that they want the travel and expense sheets to be controlled by the HR department, salary department, before it goes to the manager for approval. That step in the workflow is not within IFS, so we've added that step in the workflow, and then it flies along with all of the rest of the workflow. That's one of the examples. And then to the final one app, many backends. DinERP could be connected to several backends. Of course, the most enhanced and experienced backend we're connected to is IFS. But we could connect to others, and we have connected to other backends as well, because we have divided our development from and moved it into two separate areas. One is the app development, which is then working towards internal DinERP APIs. So the app doesn't know what system it works with. So that is basically done. And that is why DinERP solution is a standalone product. That is what I wanted to say about the company and the products.
Could you mention something in regards to IFS and as organizations move with IFS to different versions?
Yeah,
move along with
right. DinERP has got a future-proof solution, meaning at the moment we're working from 7.5 up to apps 10, and we're also have a future-proof solution for the versions of IFS coming. So you will at least have the functionality that you have today when you move to the next version. So that is one of the key areas for us. So then, Technos. Technos is a Finnish company. They are in 11 countries and 11 production companies, and they have 20 plus countries within the whole of the world. They're big. They have 200 people in R&D. They're selling mostly industrial coating, and they want to be a global but a local company, meaning you can go to the local shop, you be treated as you will as local. And what is also interesting is they're one of the biggest family-owned businesses, and they're big. They have, in 2017, they had 384 million euros in annual revenue, and they're still growing. They are now, let's move forward. You will see the footprint of Technos in the world. You will see production and sales. And you see there's a lot of countries. And they're now moving to South America as well, including what they've done already in Europe, US, and in Asia. IFS is the Technos Group ERP system. Technos chose IFS to increase the visibility, integration, and collaboration between companies and countries within the group. And they started on in 2009, which is quite early, and they're currently running on IFS 7.5 Service Pack 2. They plan to go live the 1st of January 2021 with apps 10, with DinERP on top, moving from apps 7.5 to apps 10. So that proves the future proof of DinERP. The user won't see any kind of different way of doing stuff. They will just have several new features that we connect to within IFS when they go live with apps 10. At the moment, they have 13 companies and 28 sites with logistics processes within IFS. So you see the countries in front of you, and they continues to do the rollout of Technos with the several other Technos companies and sites when they have done their upgrades. So the first quarter of 2021 they will then roll out the solutions from DinERP even more than they have today. What Technos has done with DinERP then is that they have implemented supplier invoice solutions from DinERP. Our solution is based on the solution of e-invoice within IFS, meaning we're sitting on top of the posting proposal of IFS. I think that if you're working with accounts payable or you've been within the financial department of IFS, you've heard about the posting proposal. So what you have rights to do within IFS, you have rights to do in DinERP because you're logged into the DinERP solution with your IFS user. Meaning, if people want to do the postings of supplier invoices within IFS, that will be reflected within the DinERP solution as well. So it's integrated with the integration framework of DinERP. So what you gain in supplier invoice of DinERP is that you got your to-do tiles that could be presented within the portal of DinERP. It could be presented in the lobby from IFS. You got the easy postings from list of values, meaning the several code parts within the posting lines, you will have the list of values. There is possible to set purchase order connection. Either it's set when you receive the invoice, or you can connect it with it yourself. There are approvals within the web interface, so you can see what you're going to set. We have connected to period allocation, meaning you can allocate your costs over the period of the way you do in the IFS. If you're doing, if you're buying stuff and the invoice is connected with your purchase order, you could have ordered some consultancy hours. Those consultancy hours, they are not received at the warehouse. You might have received them when you had the consultancy at your office. So from our interface, then you will be able to do the goods receipt on that purchase order. Once that is received, the pre-posting of the purchase order will open up in the DinERP screen. You will be able to search for old invoices, see if you get familiar with one invoice. Well, have I had this one before? You could press the button search and you will see the latest invoices from that supplier that has been on your desk. And also we have some really good other solutions on top here, where you can last postings, for instance, which is you will be able to populate the last postings from this supplier that you approved the last time you had an invoice from them. Meaning, if you have a phone bill that has been divided into 10 lines, the lines will be populated for you, and it will be up to you to divide the numbers into the posting lines. You will be able to add comments to the invoice, will be stored within IFS. You will see the authentication rules. You will see the next authorizer. You will be able to send the invoice back to the accounting department, not my invoice. You can park the invoice. So basically you have everything within one screen. You will be able to add attachments if you've gotten an email or you've got the PDF with an offer from a supplier. You can add that to this invoice if that's something you want. So basically an easy to use web interface for supplier invoice postings. Just how it looks on a computer, where you will be able to do your work in a browser. Technos has also taken on the supplier invoice approval on mobiles by using one part of the Approve It app from DinERP. We have gathered all the approvals that you're doing within your ERP system in one app, meaning you can do the approval of the purchase requisitions, your expenses, your time authorization, the invoices, and whatever in one app. In this case, they have added their supplier invoice approval. So if you want one to really, you need to pay an invoice, and you know that the guy he's out traveling, he is not available at his desk. Well, you could call him and say, well, you've got a really urgent invoice now. Would you log into your Approve It, doing the approval on when you're at the airport, for instance. That's possible to do. It's even tested on the subway in Shanghai. It works. So then, why did Technos do this project? They had a lot of complaints from the solutions. They really needed an easy tool for users not using IFS on a daily basis, because they wanted to decrease the number of days from the end of month to the closing of the period. And it's connected to the projects for their supplier invoice scanning. They wanted to have an easy, a good way of doing this. Faster invoice acceptance process. As I mentioned, people could do it in the car, in the taxi, at the airport, or whatever. They found it efficient, modern, and more fluent workflows than they had seen from other solutions. They have started the rollout in Finland, and as you saw, they have now rolled it out in 13 countries and will further roll it out in 2021. And they have taken on DinERP supplier invoice, both web and mobile, as one of the group tools of Technos, in the same way they do with IFS. To also let you know that we're doing more and we develop the solutions further on. I would just let you know a tiny bit of the new way we're doing invoice handling. Machine-assisted invoice postings. A lot of companies has got what you can call wild invoices, meaning invoices not connected to purchase orders. Invoices connected to purchase orders will pick up pre-posting from the purchase order when it flies into IFS. But you will always have some invoices that are not connected, and based on that, we have a lot of historical data within IFS where we can find the postings that you have used before. So what we're doing then is that we will get that data, we supplement the data with the admin part of DinERP, machine-assisted invoice postings. We clean it, we manipulate the data. There will be a training model there that will update this, so it will do a better job the next time. We test the data, and based on the improvement, there will be use and feedback. So let the bot suggest a posting. The point is that we will add one extra thing on top of the selection bar, where the bot lets you put in postings. And it will say, okay, it suggests the postings. You can manually override it if you want, and you click the bot icon to see the alternatives. As you can see here, it's done the calculation. It says that in 80% of the in 80% it will have 2 lines of postings visible on your screen. In 20 you will see the lower part, and it's up to you to select that. You can manually override as you wish. For manual lines, the bot is not integrated on the line. You see, if you override, then the bot will be gone, and the bot will learn out from this, and it will do a better job next time. And I apologize for the misspelling of better there. I might think it's Paul doing that.
I think that was actually my fault. Apologies.
So on the screen, you also see the list of values that we do when we're using manual postings. And we also show you alternative views of postings, where you have the lines on the left-hand side, and you see the details within this area. So then, that was in fact what I wanted to show you.
Very good. Thank you very much for that, Roger. That was a very insightful overview of not only DinERP but also the solution that Technos is using.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that the machine assisted invoice postings is also creating quite a buzz with our customers. So appreciate you showing that as well. So with that being said, I suppose I'll hand it back over to you, Amanda. Do we have any questions or comments?
I think you muted your microphone, Amanda.
That very well may be my fault as well, Amanda, along with the spelling mistake.
No, I'm afraid I have to take complete responsibility. That was a schoolboy error. I apologise. Yes, we do have a couple of questions. First question, how long did it take to implement the Technos solution, and how quickly did users get going with the new processes?
Well, it went quite swift. We signed the contract the 23rd of March in 2018, and we had the signed acceptance test the 26th of June the same year. So 3 months from the contract was signed until they were up and running, and the first users were using our solution. So they were prepared to do a project, as was DinERP. So we're building relationships with the customers, and we're doing this together. So it's quite swift, and it's a standard product. So 3 months.
Very good. And what kind of feedback have you had from end users at Technos?
Yeah, well, we've had several feedbacks from the users. One of the guys, he's the financial controller of Technos Group. He was also the project manager within Technos, and he says that it was easy to implement and to start to use, he says. And they didn't have to do any kind of monthly reporting schedule to adjust the reporting schedule. It just works. And the finance department doesn't need to assist the people in using the solutions. One of the taglines of the DinERP is no manual required, and that is what we are living up to. And also, they didn't make any kind of user instructions, and they haven't used anything either. So basically, it works. The managing director of Technos in Finland says that the approved mobile app is very good and easy to use outside of the office. And he also likes the web portal for doing his invoices. There's a sales guy, a sales assistant. She said that the web portal is easy, fast to use, and it's frequently used. And the last posting part is extremely good feature, where you press the button and you will see your posting lines from the previous invoice from this particular supplier. So those are some of the quotes and some of the feedback we've got from the customer.
Very good. Okay, so we don't have any further questions at the moment. So that leaves me to wrap up, if you bear with me. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that and found it to be useful and informative. A big thank you to Roger for his presentation, and to Paul and DinERP for supporting the IFS UK and Ireland User Group Summer Conference. We've got more events planned during 2020, so have another look at our events pages. You can also watch videos, including this event, for any of our events that you might have missed. So look in our archived events section for those. Thank you all very much for attending today, and thank you for your continued support of the user group. Please send us feedback about this event so that we can improve if necessary. Stay safe and well, and hopefully we'll see you all in person in the not too distant future. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.